Well, hello, dear freedom-loving friends. Today, I I'm gonna go ahead and share with you all my new acquisition, the newest acquisition or most recent purchase. And I'm gonna start actually with the way I'm carrying it before actually showing my pistol. So this bag is kind of looks like one of those waist bags or one of those you can carry or maybe on your shoulder. This is a 511 511 design, and it was particularly specifically designed for carrying a gun and also some essentials such as your wallet, your cell phone, and those kinds of things. And this is the way I'm wearing it is I'm not going to wear it now, but it's kind of like right here, right under my left arm. So basically, it's kind of like functioning as a shoulder holster. So it goes around the waist. One of the straps goes around the waist, and the other strap goes kind of across the shoulder. So that way it is securely carried right like this, right here under my arm. And I have an easy access to, let me make sure that you can see it. I have an easy access to the zipper here. So when I do this, I can just reach in and actually I'm using the other side. I should be reach in, and here I can pull my pistol out. And also it's kind of hard to see, but I have also the magazine, loaded magazine. So this is pretty. I found that easy because I can basically carry any type of gun. I don't have to have a specific type of holster for every single kind of gun that I have. So this is why I wear this when I'm riding my bike, because I like to ride my bike at night, and it's summertime, it's hot, I don't want to ride it in the sun. So when it's like 9:30, 10, even 11, I start riding my bike, and I'm wearing this. This is basically always, in addition to whatever I have on my bike. That's an e-bike actually. It goes with that. So this is part of my bike riding equipment or gear. So again, this is really, I really like that, the 511. And here's also another pocket that you can put your wallet, cell phone, car keys, what have you. So I'm gonna first, before we start, I want to make sure that the gun is unloaded. So I'm gonna take the clip out. I'm gonna rack the gun, and there you go. Gun is empty. You can see that gun is empty, and there is no round in the chamber. So this gun is Walther PDP. Again, I repeat, the Walther PDP 9mm, and it is the PDP is standing for, by the way, personal duty pistol. I think some places I've seen it, if I'm not mistaken, writing as for the letters PDP standing for as personal defense pistol, but I believe it is actually standing for personal duty pistol. So this is a full-size gun, full-size pistol, and it does take 18 rounds, 18 9mm rounds, and as you can clearly see, this is a double stack magazine, and the gun is coming with two of these. So basically altogether it's taking 36 plus 1. So 37 total rounds you can carry, 9mm you can carry with you. So let's kind of look into a little bit of the way they built this, the Walther, and talk about the specs of it. First off, the name says it, Walther, a German engineering. It has a perfect engineering design. Yeah, in any, whatever the way you're looking at it, has a perfect engineering. The top of the rail here, I want to make sure you can see that. And actually, I want to use a pen so I can use it, show it better. So, right here, towards the back, there is a section that Walther put here that can be used to install any kind of optic. I'm not sure if you saw those two. There you go. You see those holes, two holes here? So these two, you can use this to basically install any kind of optic you want. I am personally thinking about, installing. It's pretty new actually. I just bought it, a few days ago, and I'm gonna go ahead probably put a red dot on it. And speaking of red dot, I want to talk about the front and rear sights. These are steel front and rear sights, and rear sights adjustable. Front side is fixed, and it's using white dots. So my plan for red dot, red dot, I should say, or wholesome optic. I want to put it so it can be accommodating. If I ever use a suppressor, I want it to be able to accommodate the suppressor. So I'm going to probably choose one that could allow me to kind of compensate or align with the suppressor. So it's got to be height adjusted, the suppressor height adjusted, optic. The reason I'm saying that is, well, I don't have a suppressor to be able to display, but typically their diameter is wide enough once it's installed with an adapter. I don't have an adapter here for a suppressor. I got to put an adapter first and then put the suppressor. And once it is installed, its diameter is such that it's kind of, covering right in front of this, the obstacle. I mean, the front side. So it's basically, it's rendering the front side is kind of useless in this way. So because of that, I want to be able to use a red dot that could compensate for that and kind of align with the dimensions of the suppressor. So instead of using the factory setting, kind of low settings of the red dot, I want to have a little bit of tall, high settings of a red dot. So yeah, you can easily put that here. That's really accounting for they really designed well. And there's plenty of room here. That's really that can accommodate a lot of different types of optics. There's plenty of room here. Also, I want to mention here, I want to kind of close up here. I want you to look at the serrations. I'm using my background. That background is kind of playing tricks on me when I, move the gun back and forth. So these serrations are such that they can be easily, I'm going to remove the magazine again. When I do this, then I rack the gun and just rack it. So this is so easy to capture. I mean, if you have like a wet hands, I don't know if it's cold, whatever, maybe, some problem with your hand, you cannot apply full force. It is actually helping quite a bit to do this, to rack the gun. Like I said, 18 rounds to me it's an awesome capacity, especially with a extra mag, total of 36. That's plenty. I think that's plenty rounds to carry for personal safety, concealed carry. Again, although it's a full size, I did consider carrying that on a belt holster. Of course, I was gonna find the one that's suitable to this gun. But then, for the time being, until I make a final decision on that one, for the time being, I'll be carrying that with what I was just showing you on 511 design carry bag. I actually, by the way, I forgot to mention also the slide catch. There are slide catches on either side, so this is totally fully ambidextrous. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. All right, my dominant hand is my right hand, so I can easily do this, right? Let the action go forward. But let's say my dominant hand is left hand, so now you do this and let the action again go forward. So that's a really good feature, I think, to have an ambidextrous gun like this. You can see under that, right here, there's also a good space, plenty of room, especially the gun being full size is obviously helping. There's plenty of room for installing a flashlight, a white light. So you can put one flashlight here and red dot. And also, if I ever go for a holster designed for this gun, then I'm gonna pay attention to that the holster is accommodating the red light, red dot installed on it. One other thing I was going to mention again, the action type. This is striker fire. The action type is striker fire. So that is a really modern design. As you all know, a striker fire design, Glock, like all the Glock guns, that is a pretty safe design and effective and efficient modern design. I want to talk a little bit about also the grip and the checkers on it. It gives me real good purchase when I do this. When I grab it and making sure that I don't have any space, any room, any slack between the top of my hand and the bottom of the beaver tail. The design wise and also the checkers on the grip are such that the combination of those two factors, now when I do this, I have a very strong, good, secure purchase on the gun. And as you also know, typical modern gun trigger mechanism, trigger assembly, it is this little guy here that unless it is depressed, even if you drop the gun, it's not going to discharge accidentally as long as this little section here protruding out of the main trigger, it's not going to discharge. So that's a good safety feature as well. In addition to you also know that the striker fire guns do have their own built-in safety. So the gun itself does not have a separate excuse me safety feature like a manual safety. You don't have to flip it up and down because it is already built in as a striker fire gun inside the mechanism, the firing mechanism that allows that stop any kind of accidental discharge, and the user do not have to worry about in case of, for instance, kind of an emergency situation. Let's say a cop, a police officer, he has to draw it out of his holster, and in the middle of a maybe engagement or something, the situation is precarious, and then he does not or she does not have to think about the manual safety, which is actually a big deal for those either a police officer, police force, or military personnel. They don't like this safety, the manual safety feature, because when there's an emergency situation, they don't want to mess with they don't want to make that part of their muscle memory. As you all know, the muscle memory here is extremely important, meaning once the gun needs to be used, all the action should be memorized by muscle memory, and the manual safety should not be part of this. That is actually a hassle. So that's again another modern aspect of this gun, that not having a manual safety, as it has the built-in internal safety. What else we can discuss about this gun? One other thing I noticed is Walther, as a original European gun style, the magazine release right here. See that where my thumb is? Right here. So I depress that, it lets the magazine comes off. This is an American design, right? Unlike European designs, a lot of times one of my guns, the magazine release is right under the trigger guard. So you have to I have to kind of push it down. Or the other one right here under the bottom of the magazine well, kind of like right behind. So I have to kind of fool with that. And neither actually is kind of accustomed as far as the magazine release in this country. So this is what the expected is, right? The kind of right here where my thumb is, depress that, and it basically lets the magazine go down. So that's also another good feature. Let's see what else. I was actually, when was it? I bought it last weekend. It was Sunday, just a few days back. Today is Wednesday, and I did actually shoot with this yesterday, Tuesday evening after work. I went to range, and I did some shooting with this. I think I burned like that was my first time shooting, obviously, with that 54 or so or 56 rounds of 9 millimeters, and overall, I was pretty happy with that. So the things that I was paying attention as far as shooting with this gun was one other thing I was going to actually mention, that speaking of that, the trigger mechanism, trigger assembly, especially now. I want to, again, as you know, the gun is empty. I make sure right in front of you that gun is absolutely empty. So I'm going to have to show this, what I'm talking about, to support what I'm saying. To be able to explain better, I have to put my finger on trigger. So please be aware of that, and do not, try to remind me if you watch this video and put on your comments, hey, you should not be putting your finger on the trigger, because there's a reason that I have to do that. So the trigger pull, first off, the slack, the amount of slack, slowly pulling back, and now at this point I found the wall. Again, I'm taking up the slack, slightly pulling back, and right here, it's not fully depressed. The trigger is not fully depressed. It's not yet ready to fire, and I found the wall. This wall is pretty distinct. This is another nice design, another nice trigger assembly design, because a lot of times, which is also a case for me, when I do shoot, my results, I don't have a picture to show to support that, but it's easy to explain. My results, my groupings are kind of tend to go left always. It's always a case for me. I'm trying to hit here, and it goes left. All my grouping. So that's a problem. And the problem is, the reason why I believe that is causing this, my shots kind of tend to incline to go towards left, is this. The moment I actually depress right after that wall I just described, right after that wall, when I depress the trigger, pull the trigger, the gun, I'm going to show you kind of, I have to exaggerate that so I can explain better. Say the gun is right like this, at this angle, aimed at the target. The moment I pull the trigger, it has a little bit making this movement. I repeat, it's going down. Look, from this angle, this is perfectly parallel to the ground. The moment, the instant that I pull the trigger, the barrel goes down. Not that much, of course, but I'm trying to show you to be able to explain. This little bit of going down, like this, is contributing my groupings going towards left. The reason why it's happening is like I said, you can say that the anticipation of the discharging of the gun, anticipation of recoil, you can consider all those things. I'm not arguing against, but I believe the primary reason is, when I do pull the trigger, and right now I'm at the wall, and if I pull now a little more, if there was a round, the gun would be discharging. Right at that point, the barrel goes a little bit down. With that situation, I'm obtaining the results that I've been obtaining consistently, and I've been working on it consistently. This gun is a good gun to have that kind of practice with. The reason why is this: when I do pay more attention to that, the slack of the trigger travel space, and then you find a wall, and at that wall, the amount of you kind of calculate the amount of pull you apply to the trigger, with the hopefully minimal amount of movement on the barrel. Then if I can do this better, my shots are more centered, kind of towards the ideal location, at the point actually I'm aiming. So it's not a matter of my aim, It's not a matter of my body posture. Of course, it's also another important contributing factor, the body posture when you're shooting. But again, in my case, I experimented and I watched a lot of videos and I read a lot of comments on this from very experienced shooters, and I came to conclusion that this is what's causing that, and this is what I need to be working on in order to kind of improve my shooting accuracy. And that's why I'm saying I'm happy with this gun's trigger mechanism, as it has a nice feeling when I then kind of hit the wall, and the trigger pull is not too heavy. It's about 4 or so pound trigger weight, trigger pull, and that is also helping, obviously. I mean, if it was, let's say, 9 or 10 pounds of pull, kind of almost inadvertently, there would be some kind of a movement in the whole hand, and that would be again contributing to this kind of a movement on the barrel, the tip of the barrel, and then that would be causing the shot groupings kind of leaning towards left. In my case, if you were left-handed, your shots would be under the same consideration. Your shots would be going towards right hand side of where you want to actually hit. So this is what I'm trying to work on. And again, that trigger mechanism is another aspect that I found that appealing in my situation. So again, what else we can talk about? We talk about the ambidextrous, slide action catch, and optics and serrations and checkers on the grip. We talk about the magazine capacity. It is beautiful, by the way. I like these, high capacity magazines, so that really help. I'm going to go ahead and buy 2 more of these, because when I go to range, it's, as you know, it's a kind of hassle, right? To once you finish up your shooting with one, and you gotta load up. So instead of doing that, I want to go there with 4 fully loaded magazines. So putting this back again. So yeah, overall, this is, what was the MSRP on this one? You can find a little different prices. You can find $650. You can find a little less, $570, $580. You can find 700 plus, 720. You can find different ranges. So that is I think, affordability perspective, not too bad, right? That's pretty affordable gun, and for the price point, this is a very well manufactured and designed gun. Superior workmanship, well designed, good quality. The Walther guns are known for their engineering design, and in my opinion, they deserve a better positioning overall in the market when you compare with other main, gun manufacturers. So overall, really, I really like this gun. So I guess at this point, there's not much else that I like to add to this. And this is again the gun that my most recent purchase, my most recent acquisition or addition to my personal little humble collection, and I just want to share with every one of you. So thank you very much for watching my video, and I hope I see you again at another video. Take care and stay safe.